Hi there, it's Carl Irwin, the Common Magician, and I've got kind of a special thing to share tonight. I've been doing a little bit more mentalism lately, and I do have carried around some mentalist type tricks, things set up in my pockets, mostly in my wallet, and I've shared some of that in the recent videos. Went over a couple things that I've been keeping in there. One that I've put together recently and have tried out. And I've been sitting on it for a while. It comes from a Marc Paul lecture, and I've actually brought this up before. It's just one of the best. It's one of the very best values as far as a Penguin Live lecture that I have seen, because it's got a lot of great material on it that's very usable, easy to do, very easy to execute, easy to understand, and it stretches your thinking beyond probably what we're willing to accept, particularly when it comes to certain kinds of effects. I'll talk about that in a minute. And I just want to kind of share an example of this with you. When you work in mentalism, one thing you can try to explain to people is the power of the subconscious observation of people, right? A person can subconsciously observe things that will become ingrained into their thinking, particularly in the short term. This can be demonstrated using kind of ordinary objects. The one thing I like to use is I have in my wallet, I've kept just some examples of these. Got some money here. I've got a few receipts. These are just store receipts. One for Quick Fill gas station in this part of the country where I live. CVS pharmacy and Mini Mart, and Walmart, because everybody goes to Walmart. And actually, these all came from the same day, and I just kind of hung on to them for this purpose. But I got these Black Friday this past year. I was out and about, and there's a number of different items that I purchased on that day. As everyone else was off doing their shopping, I went around and just got a few necessities. So you can see the totals are all different numbers of items, different totals and sums on there. And it doesn't really matter what we use kind of to illustrate this. So the spectator, whoever you're working with, could just pick one. Let's say they can go with CVS, maybe. We'll go with that one. So we'll just use the CVS receipt. And the first thing I would point out is that there's a lot of data on there. It says where the store is at, the items that I purchased that day. It looks like at CVS, I remember I bought a bunch of batteries, a bunch of packs of batteries, because I have kids and, you always need batteries. So I bought some AA's, AAA's, and then some of those little button batteries that are hard to come by and are usually expensive. And I also bought a couple packs of playing cards, because I'm in a pharmacy drugstore, and I always have to buy playing cards there. And then it looks like a chocolate bar I bought. So you can see the items on there, and you see the other information on it. You have the spectator kind of just look at the receipt and make some observations, and then we're gonna try something. What I'm going to do is take the items here, and you can see they do add up to the subtotal there, and then the tax and total. I paid with a credit card on that particular day. And what I'm going to do is we're just going to take these items and the amounts, and we'll use those just to illustrate this point about the subconscious power of observation. We have, it looks like, cards I bought for $6.12. So we'll just write down the numbers here. 612. And pack of batteries, 948, so 948. And then candy bar, 275, big candy bar. And then other package of batteries, 893. And the small button batteries, 588. So these are the amounts that come from the receipt. What we're going to try to do is I would have the spectator or a couple of people, if you're sitting like at a restaurant table or something like this, have them just pick any one of the numbers in the first amount. So the 6, 1, or the 2. Let's say they pick the 1, and we'll write that over here and we'll just cross that off. We've used it. And then I'll have someone pick another number from the second amount. So 9, 4, or 8. Let's say they pick 8. We'll cross that off there. And then the next one we have 2, 7, or 5, and we'll have a spectator pick one of those. So either 2, 7, or 5. Let's say they pick 5. So put 5 down, and we'll cross that off. And then someone can pick one of these 8, 9, or 3. And let's say they pick 8. We'll cross that off. And then the last one, 5, 8, or 8. And let's say they pick 8 again. And then we'll cross off one of those. So then we'll have another spectator to make another selection. So from the first one here, we have 6 and 2 left. They can pick any one. Let's say they pick 6. What we're doing is we're making whole new numbers over here, something that we could not have foreseen. And then we'll have someone pick another one. We have 9 or 4. So 9 or 4 there. We'll put, let's say they pick 9. And then 2 or 7. Let's say they pick 7. And then 9 and 3, let's say they pick 3. Again, these are completely free and they can pick anything they want. And then 5 or 8, let's say they pick 8. And we'll cross that off. And then that leaves us with a few numbers left. So the remaining ones would be 2, 4, 2, 9, and 5. And that accounts for everything on there. So you would agree that we could have used, of course, any one of these, and the numbers could have been anything. And from these numbers, you'll see that we've generated numbers that we could not have foreseen. If any one of these would have been different, it would have changed everything. These numbers would not have been the same. And if it would have been one of the first numbers, of course, it would have changed the number drastically, obviously. So I think we can all agree that this is quite random. But I want to show you something, just kind of to demonstrate the power of the subconscious ability to observe and the impact that those observations can have on us. I just want to add this up and see what we get. So if we do add this up, we start over here, 8 and 8 is 16, plus the 5, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And then we have 8 plus 2 is 10, 11, 12, 13, plus the 9 would be 22. Is that right? Plus, let's see, down here we have 7, plus 2, 9, plus 2 more, 10, 11, plus 5 is 16. 8 plus 9, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, right? And then 6 plus 1 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we end up with this. Here's our number. 1, 1, 2, 6, 2, 1. That's our number. Now, this doesn't seem like much, and I didn't make any predictions or anything. I didn't need to, because as I said at the beginning, we're demonstrating the power of subconscious observation. You see, what I did is I had you examine this receipt from the beginning, and I've influenced you all along. I told you that I got these receipts from a shopping trip just this past year on Black Friday, right? Which is in November. In this case, it's November 26th, this past year, 2021. And if you look at the ticket, you'll see on there a couple of places where the date is actually listed. And just through subconscious observation, you see that 11, 26, 21. You can see right here, 11, 26, 21. And then through the subconscious observations you made and the choices that you made to composite these numbers together, you can see the number that you came up with. 11, 26, 21. So this effect is called summing up. It is a very procedure-heavy effect. It's something that you have to draw people in on, and you take them in on it. Marc Paul demonstrates the effect as a mathematical sum on a board, and he talks about similar kinds of topics. Obviously, you can come to anything. The end of this can point to anything that you want to. But in this case, it's pointing to the date on the receipt. And truly, these receipts are all different. All the numbers are different, but they're all on the same date. And this is just my presentation of it, a tip that he gave on that lecture, a possibility to use a receipt or something if you want to make this as a carry around. He does it more as in his mentalism parlor type show, so it's a lot bigger and can be seen easily from a flip down pad, large pad up on the stage. But anyway, a point that he makes is just that you want to try to find clever ways to dress up mathematical concepts, right? And make them look natural. And he spends quite a bit in his lecture talking about that very topic, and spends a good chunk of time on this effect and various kinds of ways to demonstrate it. So this is the way I have it to carry around, and I'll be using it here a lot more whenever I have a chance. I think this is the kind of thing you do when you sit down with someone. You're sitting at a restaurant, you're talking, and you get on the topic, and then you can, take this out and just have them, pick one and then show them the impact of the power of the mind, right, in subconscious observation to influence decisions and whatnot. So that's the mumbo jumbo behind it. Obviously, I'm not going to tip off the method here, and you kind of understand a little bit about what is going on, even if you don't specifically know. But I would recommend that lecture, Marc Paul, Penguin Live. I think it was from back in 2015, so it's quite a few years old now. But this is a really, really clever kind of way, I think, to dress up a sophisticated mathematical concept and use it in a sort of mentalist kind of presentation that seems very natural. And I wanted to share that with you. Pretty heavy hitting in the right circumstances and the right kind of presentation. So good luck with that. Happy magicking.